Science has always been the foundation of development and crucial to how we understand our world. Without science, we wouldn't be able to grasp the concept of gravity and the complexity of the human DNA. We wouldn't have invented vaccines, the car, the space rocket, the internet or the smartphone. But even though we have come a long way, there are still plenty of challenges in the future that we need science and imaginative scientists to solve.
My personal motivation for doing research is basically based on the enthusiasm for creating the same opportunities as I had in my education and my childhood.
As a developmental psychologist, I'm very fascinated by studying things taking new shape. And in that sense, children's play is a very well-chosen spot.
Going to school is about learning. But how do children acquire knowledge most efficiently?
In our methods, we are looking at experimental learning and practical experiences as a basis for learning, which is how young children learn. It's through play, it's through being curious, it's through exploring things, and then making things and sharing them with others. There's clear scientific evidence that the best way of learning is through play, it's through experimental learning. But it's slightly difficult to actually evaluate that in schools in terms of curriculum and testing. And that's the biggest difficulty.
Well, let's say we are integrating the playfulness in the Danish educational system. Then school do not only teach children what things are, but also what they can become. This is not a dismissal of conventional knowledge, but it is a chance to let it dialogue with imagination. Should this become the reality, our generation of children and young people would not only be capable of taking over our society, but they would also be geared to develop it into the future.
This raises some questions for the present school system.
School might feel threatened by such new approaches. Playing with conventional school knowledge also takes it in unforeseeable directions. And the question is, does school feel ready for playing along with children? Are we, as a society, also ready to embrace new form of education?
Our research in the LEGO Foundation is trying to deal with these critical challenges of society by using the evidence from neuroscience, cognitive psychology, pedagogy to understand how important it is how children learn in early childhood.
Modern companies and modern approach to innovation has already implied these principles in their production, but this is still a challenge to school.
In opposition to the present approach, where learning is evaluated through PISA studies and quantitative surveys, learning through play may in fact optimize our children's abilities to become the future citizens of a modern democratic society.
So basically, when you do things, have an experience, it develops your cognitive architecture. And when you, for instance, are sitting in a LEGO play, constructing things, it's driven by your motivation to actually build something that's meaningful for you.
Through projects, research and communication, the LEGO Foundation works to empower and equip children to create a better future for themselves and their societies by ensuring that the value of play is understood, embraced and acted upon.
The power of imagination and the responsibility to give children a product in hand that they are able to deal with, to work with and to make things out on their own. And when you have that type of product, it's also drive particular kinds of values, democratic values, which is about investing in understanding childhood, investing in understanding the values that are able to make children learn through play.
Well, I hope that the Danish education system will have the courage to develop the education system in a more playful manner. Playing is making new futures, it's imagining new futures. It is playing with culture, artifacts, knowledge and the identities of the ones who are playing. So in this sense, we bring out the potentialities for what society can become.
Our critical message is that play transforms learning, and the experiences that children have in early childhood build the skills that makes them able to deal with the challenges of society tomorrow. When we are thinking about in the future, 50 years from now, we need a different mindset. We have to think about that the future is something we create, it's not something that is given. And when we talk about how children learn, it's basically the competences to develop new ideas and to be able to implement these ideas to build the future.